Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. So thankful you're here. It's always great to be able to talk with people, friends, and hear their stories and hear kind of the stuff that they've overcome, what God's done in their life through their faith and their fitness. And today we have a good friend. This is Janelle. Miss Janelle is
What?
one of my biggest fans. I love her so
Yes,
much. She's
100%.
encourages me more than any other person that I work with or have
Woo.
ever worked with. So I can't wait for you guys to meet her. Janelle, would you introduce yourself to everybody and just give us a little bit of your story, and then we'll just dive in and see what we can come up with.
Absolutely, absolutely. I am the most, I think, unlikely person. You've had all these professionals. I loved Kim, your wife. If you guys haven't heard that one, go back and listen to hers. Was really heartfelt. It was precious. It's intense. So I grew up as a missionary kid in Madrid, Spain, and married Russ out of college. We've been married 42 years, so
Wow.
that puts me into my 60s,
How old
and
are
we've
you,
got
Janelle?
I am 62, very proud of it, and five kids in their 20s. And so yeah. And I'm married to Russ, who is like the MacGyver of the family, only just way more handsome. But yeah, he's and smart and super smart. So there you go. Plug for Russ.
Yeah, that's Russ is great. I asked because Russ set up your camera for you, and I was like, Russ, how much do you charge? Because it looks
It's our
great.
living room. It's our living room. It's right.
That
Yeah.
looks great. So, Janelle,
Thanks.
um, tell us a little bit about your health journey. We
Yeah.
know you're a believer, but I mean, obviously, you can
Got it.
share all of that as much as you want, missionary kid. But I want to kind of get to the crux of
Yeah.
the victory part of this for you. Okay, so talk
Yeah,
to us a little bit about
absolutely.
your health and your journey there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, having five kids, with every kid, I didn't lose the last 10 pounds. So all of a sudden I'm finding myself in you know, 50 pounds now overweight. Didn't really see it coming. Super, very family oriented. We're at sporting events 24/7. We're just always at a game with all the kids. And so about in 23, I meet this doctor. I'm in the middle of a very light case of COVID, but I need to see a new doctor. And she looks at my file. She doesn't know me, and she's like, "Wow, you were on a buttload of medicine." And I'm like, I think she just said that. Wow. Okay. I'm going to like her. I'm going to really like her. And she's like, I can help you. She's a primary care physician in this little town that we live in, not a big deal. And she goes, come back. I want to hear your story. I think I can help you. So she gives me this sensor for type 2 diabetes. I've had it for 13 years
So
at
you
that
were
time.
diabetic at this point, right?
Full blown, 8 pills a day, a shot every meal, a shot at night, a shot once a week. Like I was loaded, and every
How
time I
many
wanted to,
medications do you think you were on, Janelle?
I was on five
Five medications and
for type 2.
for type 2 and insulin injections.
100, yes.
Okay.
And I gagged with every pill. I'm not a good pill taker. So it was miserable. I have to psych myself up. And I was eating like, not just the standard diabetic American diet, but I was like eating vegetables. I was trying. I just didn't know. I just didn't have the information. I was following what they said, and I
Mhm.
was getting more sick and more sick. And so I was at the point where my vision, my skin, I was just wasn't doing well. And I even like I was carrying so much extra fat that I was wondering, like, do I have a tumor? Do I have like, what is this? I think it's a lump. I need to go get it checked in there. It's just fat. That's what it was. So, oh my gosh. So
That lump you had checked out was just some more fat,
it
right?
was more fat, basically. Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Even my mom was like, I think you should have it checked. I'm like, right. It can't be fat. So anyway, after six
Love it.
weeks, this sensor, she said, whatever spikes your sugar, take it out of your diet. And she said, and then call me every Wednesday. Call me. We're going to have just a chat. So after 13 years of this, not this much medicine, but at the end, I was on that much medicine. And in 6 weeks, I was off of everything, all the medication, and I was just progressing. I was feeling so much better.
Mhm.
And So she said, "All right, what are you eating?" I went to see her and she goes, "Well," I said, I'm eating beef, I'm eating chicken, I'm eating fish, and I'm eating eggs and cheese." And she goes, "That's a carnivore diet." So I didn't even know that. I mean, I thought carnivore was just like you eat meat like lions and that's it.
So let me backtrack a little bit. So you used a CGM, continuous glucose monitor,
I did. Yes.
and anytime your blood sugar spiked, you took that food out. Okay.
Right.
And then
Right.
over a period of weeks, you ended up basically eating mostly animal products.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. When
And
I
you were
spoke to
coming
her
off all that medication simultaneously, correct?
at the same time, at the same time, my skin improved, my vision. So when I saw that doctor at the same time, a few days later, I saw a eye specialist had it scheduled for diabetics. And he's like, "Wow, I had new lenses put in." And he said, "You're seeing 20/20." And I'm like, "I am? I've never done that." And he goes, "Yeah, your eyes, this is what I wanted for you." He said, your A1C must be in the mid sixes. And I'm like, it is. And so then I went to the dentist and I had a cleaning and the lady's like, "Oh, your A1C must be in the sixes." And I'm like, "How do you know that I'm even diabetic?" She said, "It's in your chart." And she said, "Because of your gums." And she went on to say something about my gums.
Hmm.
She says, "Yeah, they're in great shape." And I'm like, "Okay." Then I saw a dermatologist with my son and she's like, "Hey, Janelle, you didn't get your skin tags removed. Like, this is about the time, the month that we've done it for years." I'm like, I don't have any skin tags.
Hmm.
And so they disappeared. They're gone. They're gone. So I didn't have that. I mean, I was like, how do these doctors, why didn't anyone say, "Oh, you're coming every year because your sugar's out of whack?" Like,
Yeah.
so right away, within the 6 weeks, my diabetic specialist dropped me. I got a nasty letter saying, you didn't refill your prescriptions, and you've missed 2 appointments, and so my doctor said she's going to drop you, and she did, and that was
Okay,
fine.
so let me ask a few clarifying questions. Okay.
Okay,
So, Janelle, how long were you a type 2 diabetic?
13 years,
13 years. And what was your highest A1C score?
8.7,
8.7.
eight
So
eight
well
point
beyond the
seven,
range.
way, and that was with all the medication, and
So it
that
was
was
eight
without
seven with the medication.
with the medication, and I'm not drinking Cokes, ice cream. I'm not doing that, but I am eating, you know, a standard diet of Mexican pizza, spaghetti, with salad. I throw in the salad to make it healthy. I'm eating like burgers and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I made it at home, I'm eating, yeah.
Okay,
So
so you're after 5 kids, you develop type 2 diabetes,
that's right.
gain a bunch of weight, which is normal, and then you came along to a doctor. Was this doctor your diabetic doctor or a new doctor?
A new doctor. I just had to see her because my primary care couldn't see me during COVID,
Okay.
that particular day. I went to a brand new doctor just for, can I get back to work? Sign this
Well,
paper.
I would say that that was fortuitous for you. I think that was God
Yeah.
working on your behalf. So
Yeah.
you go to this doctor. She says, "Whoa, okay." So she's a
Yeah.
good doctor, obviously, because she
Yeah.
says, "Wow,
Where's your monitor? Where's your sensor? Where's your,
yeah,
like,
you're not
this
doing
isn't
all the
working."
diabetic stuff that you should be doing, basically."
Yeah.
So she puts you on a CGM. You cut all the foods out that are spiking you, and you end up coming off the medication so much so that your diabetic doctor, your doctor for diabetes, drops you. Correct?
100%. Yes. Yes.
I love that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you ended up eating basically a carnivore-like diet, kind of a
Yes.
meat-based diet. And why did you end up that way?
I
What?
mean, that's what my body responded to. So
Okay.
she said, we're gonna bring it back in mixed greens. We're gonna bring in, your asparagus, your broccoli, your Brussels sprouts, your whatever you like to eat. We're gonna bring that in a little bit. She said, give me about midsummer, we'll start adding that in. So I still had another 6 weeks that I was responding. And then in the summer, I started adding the greens. I started adding, but we had decided nothing boxed, nothing
Yeah.
frozen, nothing.
No
Yeah. So
processed
nothing
food.
processed, nothing
Okay.
processed. If it had any letters, anything on the back that I couldn't read. So basically, I was shopping on the perimeter of the store and that was it.
That's a hack.
Except for, yeah, that's a great hack. You're in, you're out, boom.
Yeah.
So my whole family started eating like this with
Okay.
me, very supportive. And so they would add a carb, they would add a vegetable maybe that I
Sure.
wasn't eating. But by the end of the summer, I had lost nearly 40 pounds. And I didn't really consider it dieting because I was eating as much fish. I mean, how much fish can you eat? How much salmon can you eat?
It'll come out your ears. I mean,
Yeah. So I wasn't restricted in the amount that I was eating.
okay.
And then so that was, I met her in May. And so then I see her in September and and this is my second time I'm with her. And she's like, well, you're doing great. And she has this intern who's going to specialize in diabetes and he's there. And so he's taking his notes. And so she goes, okay, we're ready for phase two. And I'm like, wait, what could possibly be phase two? Because like I'm healed, like I'm walking. Jesus is, he's with me. Like what is there phase two? I can't. And we had talked about me staying active. I was walking. I was biking downstairs on the exercise bike, paddle boarding. I was enjoying my
Yeah.
summer immensely. But she said, this is a non-negotiable. Like this is as much as the diet. She says, I feel so strongly about this that I will drop you today. I'll give you till Wednesday to do what I'm going to tell you. And I'm like, I just couldn't even imagine like what is she talking about? And she said, I would like for you to start weight training 5 days a week with a trainer and no, she didn't say with the trainer. She said 5 days a week. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, this lady's crazy. I'm going to go to TJ Maxx. I'm going to go to Target. I'm going to go someplace, buy these cute little pink weights and find someone on YouTube and to start working out. Fine, lady, I will do it. That's fine. I'll. And she goes, and if you think you're going to buy these on Amazon and then just find someone on, she said, no, you're going to get a trainer and you're going to join a gym and you're going to have a progression. And I just said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And she said, yes, I will drop you by Wednesday. This was Friday. I'm like,
Wow.
you're going to give me till Wednesday to find a
Yeah.
gym and a trainer. I know no trainers except baseball trainers, like that's not, I know no trainers. And she said, okay, Wednesday, I need a call by 10 in the morning. And I went home and I told my husband, I said, my doctor's crazy. And I think I'm healed. So why do I need to do this? He said, I think you should do it. I think you should follow. So Saturday morning, I get up bright and early and I go to the nearest gym closest to, I work at a nonprofit ministry. I go there, walk in, and there's all these cute little, beefy guys, cute little and booty shorts. And I'm there about 5 minutes, and little Miss Barbie, beautiful Barbie, comes to help me. And I just said, you know what? I think I'm good. I'm gonna think about this. And I walk out like there's no way I'm gonna work here. I don't even know how to lift one single weight. I don't even know what they're called. I know nothing. So Monday, I'm talking to my girlfriend Devin, who you know,
Hmm.
and I tell her, and I'm like, I guess she's gonna drop me. I'm gonna be on my own. And she goes, what are you talking about? Let's pray. And I'm like, oh, like Jesus is gonna bring me a trainer, really, Devin? I don't think so. She goes, oh yeah, absolutely. I'm like, day after tomorrow. She goes, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, okay, well, sure, but I'm not gonna go looking for one because they don't have the same worldview. They have different lifestyle. I need someone that I can relate to that knows my story and not just, on the clock in and out.
Yeah.
So then the next day, I might have my days a little mixed up, but I think it's the very next day. Um, our president's speaking to us. We're in an all staff chapel and meeting, and she's talking to us. And at the end, it was really short. And at the end, she goes, and so she said, you guys have been so good, and we want to bless you back. She's talking to all of us who've been working there, and she's like, I've been weight training for I don't know 5 or so many years, and I'm like, wait, did she just say weight training? And then she said, and I want to introduce you to Adam because we're going to pay him to work with any staff members who want to work with him to weight train and to be our coach. And he's a nutritionist, you know,
So
and
funny.
I'm just like, oh, Devin's like poking me. We're just having a fit in our
So
seats.
funny how God works,
I
man.
can hardly even. So you come in with your tiny little shirt, all muscly, and I'm like, oh my gosh, who is this person? And like
Did you
people
say
knew
I had a
you.
tiny shirt?
Yeah, you had this shirt with muscles popping out, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And people knew you. I didn't know you, but I haven't been there, that long. But you come highly recommended. And not only that, but then our ministry is paying for it. We have like a nominal fee.
Yeah.
And so Devin's like, we're signing up today. We're going to sign up today. We meet you. I meet you. And the rest is history. So now it's like life before Adam and life after Adam, as my
So
family
funny.
knows.
That's
So
so
I
funny.
called her and I was able to give her the gym. Oh, yeah, this is the other part. So, one of the things when she said, why don't you want to do this? What is prohibiting you? I said, because my family is so important. I can't go out and work out after work and then come home and miss dinner. And like, I care about my family too much. And she said, Janelle, you are doing this for your
Yeah.
family, for
Yeah.
your longevity.
Doctor.
You want to be here for those grandkids, those little bitty grandkids. So I went to I think even, yeah, Devin and I went, signed up at this beautiful Y. It's gorgeous.
Hmm.
It was a private club, and the whole family ends up. We get a family plan, and so my family, we were going to go out to eat, and they're like, we'll just walk in with you, Mom." I'm like, "Okay, come in with me to sign up. That's fine." Everyone signs up. The whole family signs up. So now
Freaking
I'm
awesome.
working out. I'm working out with my kids, with their spouses, with the little grandkids. They're swimming with Russ while I'm working out, and it's just amazing. Just
Wow.
amazing. Yeah.
Well, I love your storytelling. And the fact that you said I had a tiny shirt on is hilarious.
I know.
Uh,
And this neck, and I was like, who is this person? Oh my word.
that's so funny. So, so yes, for those who don't know, I do work with uh, companies, nonprofits, and I'll train their staff.
Yeah.
In some ways, I don't do one-on-one training per se, but we do consultations and I give people programming and, we talk through issues and we work around stuff. But Janelle's case was incredible because she came when she started with me, she was already doing a great diet, right? A diet that worked for her. So like the one thing that I want people to hear when we talk about this is we're not saying the carnivore diet is the diet.
Right.
We're saying
Exactly.
that she landed on this diet because it worked for her type 2 diabetes,
Yeah.
right? So she was cutting out the things that were giving her a spike. And because she had been diabetic for so long, almost everything other than meat gave her a spike,
I
right?
was so sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
So
so sensitive. So my family doesn't have to eat like this,
exactly.
but my family is supporting, they're eating similar and
Yeah.
adding sides to
Yeah.
whatever we're eating.
Yeah.
So yeah. But our first meeting, can I tell about the first meeting? So I
Yeah, you
really would
can.
I would recommend that you guys do, yes, get the app, for sure, get the app, but also do a one-on-one with Adam. You can set that up via Zoom,
She's
because
marketing for me right now.
I am, because this is so vital. When we first met, I thought, what are we going to talk about? What is he going to actually show me how to lift a, like I didn't even know the names of any weights. Like seriously, the last time I'd been in a gym other than to watch the kids play is like in the 80s doing I don't know, like I don't even know what we did
I'm
back
not
then.
that far behind you. I remember the 80s, love.
Okay, okay,
I
okay. Well, that was the last time I was in a gym. Okay.
remember the 80s
So
were freaking epic.
they were epic, but and it was also kind of like a pickup vibe. Like you could pick up people there. They didn't have
Oh
all
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah, 100%.
So
No,
I
100%.
was
That's still
like,
the vibe.
well, not at the Y. At the Y, you got all kinds, all colors, all sizes, all ages. So I love it there. But anyway, so the first time we meet, you're asking me questions, and I'm like, why is he asking me that? You were so kind and you were so gentle with me. But first of all, I'm in September, mid-September, and I have no suntan. Remember, I was like, well, probably like I am right now, but no sun. And you
You were
you
the
kind of
whitest Mexican
mentioned
lady
it.
I'd ever met.
Yeah, and you mentioned that. You're like, so no suntan. Tell me about that. And I'm like, oh yeah, because I do all my activity after 4. We live on a lake and I do paddle boarding, I'm kayaking, or I'm doing whatever after in the evening, around sunset. I don't want to get, and you're like, you need some sun. You need that vitamin D. You need that. That's good for
I
you.
remember
And you
talking about
gently asked, is this what did you ask? Is this is this from your heritage? Is
it. Is this
this
a
what
cultural thing? Like, is
is
this a
this a
cultural?
cultural thing? Yeah, and it absolutely is. Yeah, and it was.
Why?
And
Tell
it was,
me.
well, because, my grandparents, my grandmother would say, oh, don't get into the sun, mija, don't do that because it will look like you're a laborer, and it will seem like we don't want you, people to think that you're out picking, which of course my family did. I do have family on both sides that would do that.
So work
But
in
they
the
would say,
fields and
work in the fields and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you don't want extra sun and it's bad for your skin and it's bad. So here's me. I'm taking no supplements, by the way. I'm taking nothing. When you started recommending supplements, and I went back to my doctor, you said go back to your doctor, and she said 100% yes. This is
Right.
what you should be taking to the
Okay.
milligram. Yes. So everything you said, she said, and vice versa. And that was one thing. And you said, now, how many hours of sleep a night do you think?
This
And I'm
was
like,
this
when
was
are
an
we going
issue.
to get to the? When are we going to get to the? I didn't have any word, but I'm like bicep curls. That's kind of
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
had in
yeah.
mind.
To
Like,
the
when
lifting
am
weight.
I? Yeah, when are you going to teach me how to lift weights, Adam? In our very first one-on-one session, and I hadn't even downloaded your app yet. I don't think. And,
No,
and
you
I'm like,
hadn't.
I don't know, 4 hours is 4 hours a night, 4 or 5 hours. I go to bed at 2. I wake up at 6. And you're like, we're going to work on that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it works for me. I've been doing it for years. I was a homeschool mom, 5 kids. And then I taught school and I've just always have done this. And I spend time with my kids, until 11 o'clock. And then there's time for me. And then I do my laundry at 1 in the morning. I'm folding. It's me and Jesus. And you're like, no, no, let's work on 10 o'clock, ending it at 10. And I'm like, no, that's crazy. I can't do that. And you're like, yes, you
Yeah.
can. What would prohibit you? And I said, I spend from 11 to midnight with my son, my 19-year-old, and I'm not going to. And you're like, you can do that from 9 to 10. And of course, he's a weightlifter, weight trainer, bodybuilder. And he's like, absolutely, mom, let's do that because I'm not getting up at 6 in the morning like you. So now I'm going to bed at 10, and I think it's so crazy. And I'm turning the lights down at 9:30. And I'm trying to,
Yeah.
and it's so all the things that you talked about, I'm like, when is he going to get to the weight? He's asking all these crazy questions.
Yeah. It was funny too because that was the one thing you actually pushed back on. You
It
pushed back.
was.
You didn't push back on sun. You were like, oh, well, I guess that makes sense. And then,
Yeah,
but with the sleep, and this is a big thing that people don't
huge.
like. Well, this is a big thing that people don't connect dots over. It's like, yeah, it
It's
works for me, but yeah, you're type 2 diabetic the whole time,
the
right?
whole time.
They're fully connected. They're not separate things, right? You
Yeah,
don't sleep 4 hours a night and then have great blood glucose control. I can make
never.
you, I can make you type 2 diabetic in about 2 or 3 months by just
Yeah.
putting you on 4 hours of sleep, right?
And I believe it. I believe that. You're
Yeah.
not just kidding. You're not exaggerating.
Yeah. So when we started getting you, you started slowly inching the clock back, right? And then
Yes.
now you'll text me and say, or message me and say, oh, well, me and Mitch have been talking from 9 to 10 and we talk about his
Yep.
weightlifting and I talk about my weightlifting and all this stuff. So
I know. Well,
it's
that's
amazing
the
what you can
thing.
get used to.
Yeah. And
That's
the
not
thing
good for you.
is that what has come about because of this is my relationship with my 19-year-old, with Mick. Because he's like, can I see the app? Can I see Adam? Let me see where you are. Where are your macros? What are you eating? Da, da, da. So we have that in common. I'm helping him with his papers and his college stuff, and he's helping me. And it's so cool because he's so proud of me.
Yeah.
And then I know how much work he's putting into his weight training,
Hmm.
but it's just it's a part like when the kids turn 18, 19, they start drifting away naturally, but this has kept us connected. He's the last one. We're about to be empty nesters, and so
Oh
it's just
no.
so cool. I know. I'm not ready, but no, it's so cool that God has used your effort and your, ministry. I call it a ministry to us, but to help me. And then I shared it with my dad, who's type 1 diabetic,
Mhm.
and he's just his doctors can't believe he's on a fourth of his medicine,
What's he doing?
doing really well. I mean, he has a pump. He's doing very little medicine. I mean, he's doing pills and shots through a pump, but he's doing so well. And he's also, he had a health scare just a few weeks ago, but
I
he's in
remember
his
that.
late 80s, and he's like, hey, I'm ready to go when it's my turn, I'm ready to
He's
go.
ringing
But
Jesus's bell. He's like, I'm
yeah,
just in
I'm
case.
ready, but he's had a year and a half. He's had a great year. So before he started, yeah, he's lost about 40 pounds as well. And we both had to get new clothes,
So he's doing similar to what you're doing.
he's doing very similar. We're eating basically the same things. And he's keeping up with a bicycle downstairs and a little bit of walking as well. He has to be careful, but yeah, his vision has improved. I mean,
Wow.
his skin has improved 100%. Same thing, just like me, same thing.
Wow.
Um, so it's exciting. My son, so it's not only like I am your client, yes, but it's multi-generational. I'm sharing it
Yeah.
with my father and then my son, who's a police officer. He's in his late 20s, starting to get the dad bod. You know, he's not in high school anymore. And February, so I met you in September. By February, he's like, Mom, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Because this is amazing transformation. So he starts eating what I'm doing. He's lost 70 pounds, by the way,
Wow.
since so
So he's doing full carnivore as well?
10, yep, 10 months. He no,
Wow.
actually he is eating some vegetables and he is eating some fruit because he doesn't have the sugar issue. So
Perfect.
but he's not eating anything packaged. He's not going out. He's just and then when he is with friends, yeah, they might go to a favorite place and he's just being smart about it, but
Mhm.
he's not just eating crap
Sure.
all the time.
Sure.
But
So
so many
he's a little
pounds.
more middle of the road
Yeah, oh yeah.
because he
And
doesn't
he's not
have the health issues that keep
He
those
doesn't.
parameters tight.
And
Okay.
with this, he's not hungry. It's not like a diet. It's a lifestyle and he's never going back. He's like,
I love
yeah,
it.
I might eat something on a special occasion, but I'm never going back to the way I used to.
I love that.
Yeah. And he's so much more active and it's so much better as a police officer for him to be,
Well, yeah.
fit, very fit.
Yeah. I actually have worked with several police officers in the past, and the lifestyle of the police, of what the police have to adapt to, is completely incongruent with what the job demands. Right?
Yes,
Right.
yes,
So they make
yes.
you work these crazy hours, and you're
Yep,
always kind of eating on the go, but you need to be ready to tackle somebody or whatever you
right.
have to do in a moment's notice. And if you're not fit,
It's
this
a
is why you see
dichotomy.
those
Yeah.
blooper videos of cops just getting like
He's had to
pushed
get a
down to
new
the ground.
uniform. Yeah, he's had to get a new uniform, and this one is still too big. And I will say, you need to put a little disclaimer on the bottom of your videos because after I lost the weight, I bought some new clothes and then I started working out with you. And our goal was not to lose more weight necessarily, but to be fit and to be healthy and to be stronger. And I just kept losing sizes, you
Hmm.
know,
But your weight
and
stayed roughly the same.
inches, roughly the same, but inches came off. And
Yeah.
when you said that was going to happen in our first meeting, I'm like, he's
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
So
how am I going to lose more?
let's
Yeah,
talk about the working out, because you started working out at 60 years old, roughly.
with no history, no experience. I
Yes.
didn't even know. I knew there was like a little one and a longer one, but dumbbell, barbell, nothing. I knew no
Yeah.
names of anything. Yeah. So your app it shows a video and it just will explain it in words, in video, and then it's progressive. I can see what I did last time on this exercise, which is great. I don't have to remember anything. And I
Yep.
just every time I'm done with it, I put it in the app
Yep.
quickly. And so I can either go progressing in weight or in
Repetitions.
reps. Thank you. I love it. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And just so people know, what we started with Janelle and many ladies in her situation, one, almost every lady says, "Well, I don't want to get buff." You know,
I
And I'm
did say
like,
that too.
yeah. I
And
said,
they're
and I
like,
told you, I
"Mm,
said, people spend thousands of dollars a month to be buff.
and hours. Yeah.
I said, you not working out because you don't want to be buff is like not driving your car because you might accidentally turn into a NASCAR driver. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like they're
That is so true.
they're worlds apart, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the first
That
thing
is
we
so
did
funny.
was is we and you still follow a similar program to this is we just did full body weightlifting.
Yep.
We hit
Yep.
roughly every muscle in the body 2 to 3 times a week and then
Yep.
focus on getting lots of steps in,
Yep.
right?
That's
I didn't make you
exactly.
run. I didn't make
Nope.
you do cardio or anything.
No. No.
And how did you find when you first started? Did you find the learning curve really high? Was it hard?
Well, I did have a friend. I did have Devin who had
That's a
some
big hack too.
experience. That's a big hack. She and Mick, when I would have a trouble and he'd like, Mom, you need to look at the video again, and then you can also YouTube it if you need more help. You can, but I just wanted someone to hold my hand, right? And so, at first it was so new to me, but I was also really watching your videos and your shorts. I mean,
Yep.
not your shorts, but I
The
was
shorts on
watching your
YouTube shorts.
shorts, YouTube shorts. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And they were addressing like everything. There would be a nugget of truth, and I'd write it down. A nugget of truth. They're just a couple minutes. Nugget of truth, and I was applying some of that. So I was in my own little space. Like, don't worry about what other people are doing. They're not worried about you. You don't have to worry. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel like, especially going to the Y, I didn't feel like I was going to be judged. I mean,
Yeah.
and so, but the learning curve was big for me because I knew nothing.
Hmm.
But you have like three different things for people who haven't seen your app. For every exercise, you can make it harder, you can make it easier.
Yeah.
There's what do you call it?
Alternatives.
Alternatives. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I can
every
adapt it.
exercise, I'll give the preferred exercise for this particular program.
Yeah.
But if you're like, oh, well, that's intimidating, well, maybe there's a machine option you can choose from. I usually add that. Or maybe
Yep.
there's just a use your body weight only, you know,
Yep. And I
portion.
did and I did play around with I did use those often.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that anymore, but I did that often and it was very helpful. And and I could do every single thing. I didn't have to skip anything
Yeah.
because I didn't have any injuries. I didn't have
Yeah.
any, and I'm still injury free. So nothing I did caused me,
That's
because
awesome.
I was eating so much protein, maybe I wasn't coming home super sore where I couldn't walk the next day at all.
Yeah.
For being at my age, I
There's
was
also
concerned.
there's a few things that I want to tell those who are listening. There's a few things Janelle had in her favor and not in her favor, but a few things that she also has done just based on her personality that have really made her progress. Like she has seen more results than probably anybody I've worked with in her age range, right? She's seen
Yeah.
results like somebody in their 30s and 40s. So, a couple things she does really well, and this is something I can learn from too, is she takes notes.
Oh yeah. Here's my notes.
Yeah, takes notes. So
I
if she
do.
has a question, she writes it down and she asks the question. So she gets an
Yeah.
answer. She takes notes. She's always learning and she's always trying to apply what she's learned, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, I get these messages from her that are like paragraphs long, right? And I love them because she's telling me exactly what she's thinking and I can answer exactly what the issue is.
And I use bullet points though.
Yeah, she does. No, she does.
I am going to do it. You can do it quickly. Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
few now, another thing that worked in her favor is she had no choice, right?
Absolutely.
Diabetes
Absolutely.
is deadly.
Yeah.
It's deadly. And then based off her heritage and history, it made her situation like she didn't have a lot of wiggle room. So
No.
being
And
Hispanic is
yeah.
usually have most of the time Hispanics genetically have a lower ability to process carbohydrates well, which is why the diet of tortillas and rice and beans and
Oh my
all this other
gosh,
stuff
right?
it just crushes. That's why You see
Oh
all the
yeah.
mamas are all shaped exactly the same,
Yeah.
right? Everybody's shaped exactly the same because of the diet mixed with genetics. And then she was also not weightlifting and all this other stuff. So I want to let people know that if you can learn anything from Janelle today, which we can learn a lot, okay? She doesn't think so, but I've worked with thousands of people, and Janelle is an exception. Okay,
But I'm not. I am so average. I think I am like you're to me, it's just like you picked like if I can do it, so many other people can do it.
but the few small things you're doing make you exceptional. The things you do are you one when you feel like you can't do it, you still try,
Yeah, I do.
right? You still try. You don't give up. You keep learning and you keep growing in your mentality and in your abilities, right? So when you first started working out with me, you don't remember this, but you would complain a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well,
You'd be like,
I did
I'm
have a
taking me through
chant.
these things and
Yeah, I did have a chant. I did say a few times, I hate Adam, bro. I'd be like, I
I
hate
get
Adam.
that
I
text
can't do
regularly.
it. I can't do it.
I get that text
Yeah.
regularly.
And I do it, I say it in love because it was hard, it was hard. Some of it
It's
was
hard.
hard. But the thing is, and my husband was so committed. We commute, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? I can't commute with him anymore. He's like, I will take you. I will take you. You do your thing. I'll do, but one other thing I learned about the shorts too, in the shorts is that if you are working with your body all day and you're lifting and you're doing, which my husband's very physical in his job,
Mhm.
then maybe on your off time you work your mind, work your, because I'm like, I'm doing this, why isn't my husband now? I didn't think that because I heard your short right when I started lifting, is like I shouldn't expect him to do it as well because he does this all day
Yeah,
long in his job. But he, on his off time, he wants to, read, he wants to study, he wants to, and so he's doing that while he's waiting for me.
yeah,
Sometimes if we don't have grandkids swimming with him, then he's like, go ahead, do your thing, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to just read.
yeah,
And so I didn't have to, like, because you said that really helped. There's a lot of nuggets of truth in your
yeah,
shorts that if we just applied it, it would just be so helpful,
yeah.
very helpful. And I write down the one thing I'm learning from your videos. Sometimes it's more than one thing. Sometimes it's 7 or 8 things I'm learning, but I write it down and I review it, and I do because I want to apply. I want to be learning. I
Well,
want to
you're
progress.
also because of that, you're outpacing other people your age, right? So most of the people when they hit their 60s, they start slowing down. You've actually sped up because
Oh
you went
yeah.
from like you'll tell me well, a couple of things that stick out in my mind that you've told me since you've been
Okay.
lifting weights. How long has it been now? About a year?
It's been a year in September, so it's been a year and 4 months,
Okay.
5 months.
So the first thing she told me was, "Hey, I think I have little arms popping out." Right? And
Yeah,
she
yeah,
showed me your
yeah,
muscles, right? And
yeah.
then I think you tore some handle off a door at your house,
I
right?
did it at work.
At work.
I had to report it at work. I tore a handle
So
off.
the door wouldn't open, so she pulled on it and she was stronger, so she broke it. And
Yeah.
then you're picking up and you're putting stuff on shelves above your head that you could not have done before.
I took out all the Christmas this year. I
And
took
did you
out
need help to do
Christmas.
that?
Not a bit, not a bit. I put away all the fall decor and I didn't even think about it. It just didn't even occur to me to go get someone because I've been doing what that's part of, yeah,
And then
that
the paddle boarding in the summer, you're paddle
I
boarding
love it.
regularly.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And my doctor does that too. So in fact, she said, do not lose Adam. Like she said, do not, stay with this trainer because she looks at the app as well. And then you also look to see what all of my blood work is. I send it to you. We go over the numbers. And so
Yep.
you're part of that I feel like we're a team.
Yeah. And you actually have a really good doctor. That's another thing. If you are going to be with a physician, if you're going to use standard care, you need a doctor that's similar to what Janelle has here. Somebody who's open minded, someone
Yeah.
who is lifestyle oriented and
Yeah.
uses medication as needed when
Yeah.
lifestyle does not change. So even, um, which I was surprised that she even did this, but she was at one point, because your cholesterol was higher, she
Yep.
was
I remember.
she
Yep.
was recommending a statin to you, I think Lipitor, one of those,
Yep.
and she was kind of pressing you on it. I asked, will you
Yes.
have her read these studies?
Yes.
Maybe it'll open her mind a little bit about how the body is fueling on a carnivore or a very low carb diet. And
Yeah.
she did. And
She
she
did.
she was like, "Oh, well that makes sense. That's a very
She
possible."
did. Not only that, but she said keep those studies in your file because if you ever move, if we ever get
Yep.
separated, you're going to have another doctor and you need to be able to pull like these, if
Yeah.
not these. She said because I wouldn't recommend it for you, for me.
Yeah.
Um, and there were reasons in the study. It was a double blind study. There were three of them. Russ gave me another three, and so for me, I was just really, I was really pleased that it came from you and it went through her, and we were all on the same page,
Yeah.
saying would not be good for me.
Yeah. So that's a huge win. But then also,
Yes,
because of the diabetic issue, lifestyle has changed that dramatically for you.
yeah,
But your waking insulin level was a little higher than it should be,
right.
right? And then exercising first thing in the morning was still not bringing that down.
That's right.
So then she put you on like a GLP-1 inhibitor, like Manjaro, is it?
Manjaro, uh-huh. Yeah.
Just a small
Oh,
dose of Manjaro.
yeah, we did the smallest dose and instead of every however many days, we're adding another I think it was a once a week. We're doing 14-day and
Yeah,
it's still keeping it down in the
yeah.
numbers. So I'm
So
not doing it as it was intended. I'm
yeah.
doing much less.
So Janelle, your example, the reason why I keep talking about it so much is because this is like best case scenario where you have somebody who is a learner who wants to do better and wants to extend their life as much as possible. They do all the lifestyle things to the best of their ability. And then you have a doctor who is open to lifestyle change and
Yeah.
using medication or pharmaceuticals as needed, but not as primary.
Yeah.
And then working through with a trainer or and a nutritionist to help bridge those
Yep.
gaps and open the thought processes because the medical field is very in their in their world, and then you have people like me who are trainers who are very in their world and there's nothing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right, but having being able to gap bridge that has put you at 62 years old as in incredible shape.
But
You're of
I'm not very popular within the diabetic community because I'm not buying the pharmaceuticals anymore.
course.
I'm not seeing like they don't want a lot of people like me because,
Well,
you know, they'd be going out
there's
of
no
business.
money in you
There's no
right now.
money in me. No,
But that's the goal. The goal should not be money. The
absolutely.
goal should be health, right? So what
Absolutely.
you've been doing is incredible, and always encouraged every time.
Oh my gosh. Hey, and I do have one thing. So
Yeah,
for Thanksgiving, just a month ago, my family, we were playing this silly game. And it was, I can't remember, some new game, but it's a card game. And the person who was it in the family, the card was, can this person do 10, 15, or 20 push-ups? And so they're like, Mom, I'm picking you. And so they read it and they're like 20. I'm like, you didn't even pick the 10 or the 15, you
they
picked the
picked
20.
20
They
push-ups.
picked 20 push-ups right there in front of everyone. And I'm in my little, my little outfit for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, I mean, I've done push-ups with Adam, but I don't know that have I done 20 in a row in the middle of my workout? I don't know.
I don't think
And so
I've never programmed that.
you've done like in a minute or something. I don't know,
Yeah,
with
as many as you can in a minute. Yeah,
as many as you can in a minute. And so I don't know that I was, I can't remember because I don't have to count because I put them in my little app thing. So I'm like, okay, so they didn't say yes or no. Like, can you do it? Yes card, no card. So I get down and I take off my I take off my turtleneck and I have a workout shirt underneath because you never know when you're gonna need it.
You had a
You know,
wife beater on. You were like,
I did. I did. Oh my gosh, I wear them underneath because I don't want to be caught at the gym in a turtleneck now. You know, like I want to be ready to go to the gym. If I'm nearby, I'm going to stop at the gym. So I take it off and they're like, oh my gosh, mom, what do you? So I start doing these. Start doing these. They're not perfect. I mean, they're not
they
military
don't need to
push-ups.
be.
Okay. But at 10, then my son puts on Eye of the Tiger. You
Yes.
know, he starts blasting this Rocky thing. And I start like 11, 12, and I do 20, and they're all cheering me on. And they
You
show me
did
the
20
cards.
push-ups.
Yeah, and everybody in the family said yes. They all showed the cards after I tried, and they all said yes that I could do
They
20.
all
They all
thought you could do
believed.
it.
They all thought I could do it. I didn't. I wasn't sure I could do it. I was very glad. I woke. I got up and I was like, man, that felt great. That felt great. Like this is great. What else can we do? You know, like give me
Oh
some
my
else.
God. The fact that you
So
had on a workout shirt under your turtleneck at Thanksgiving, it just
Thanksgiving,
tells me
you
why I
never
love
know.
you because
You never know.
you and I are like the same animal of species of animal, right? It's just
You
like
never know.
I'm gonna get a workout in one way or another, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
I
I
love
am. Yeah, I
that.
am.
Gosh, it's so
Yeah.
encouraging.
If so, for if you guys are out there listening, watch his videos, guys. Watch. I'm
Thank you.
learning. So I've learned everything from from Adam. It sounds crazy, and even your foodie shorts. Like I'm 62. I've been making dinner for 100 years, right? I've been making, meat. I've been making food for a family of seven plus all their friends, and I'm like, wow, that's great. I'm going to do that. Yeah, that's good. I can do that. I can do that. I can make those eggs, and I can do that.
Heck yeah.
And so yeah, I can.
I love
So
it.
even that, I'm learning from you. So
Well,
I did.
what's your last thing on your notepad there?
Okay, the last thing on my notepad, I mean, I not to get all religious or anything, but
Oh,
that
that
Proverbs 29.
this is a faith-filled
Okay,
Jesus
so that
podcast.
Proverbs 29:18 is kind of new for me. I mean, I've heard it, but I'm reading it in a whole different light. And it says, where there is no vision, people have no boundaries.
Mhm.
And it says, blessed is the one who uses wisdom in daily decisions to remain on the path.
Mhm.
And so that was when, how you said it in the context so that's kind of my new scripture for 2025
Mhm.
is going to be my life scripture for this year.
Wow.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, that scripture has stuck out to me because there were and just for those who are listening, the context of Janelle sharing that was um, from a health point of view. If you have no vision for where you want to be with your health or with any area of your life, actually,
any,
then there are no boundaries. The goals create strategy and boundaries. So if I want to be leaner, I have to have
yeah,
boundaries on getting lean. I can't just eat whatever the heck I want. And then when it comes to what decisions I'm going to make, I'm going to use wisdom
yeah,
on, and I'm always learning because Proverbs is talking about always getting understanding and learning before anything
yeah,
else. So I'm
yeah,
always learning and I'm applying that to my choices to be as wise as possible. So it doesn't mean it has to be perfect. It just means it's always moving forward in
yeah,
some way. So I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that you
I
were
love
going to
that
make
growth
that your
mindset.
scripture.
I love it. I love that growth mindset.
I love it. You're the best, Janelle. Um,
Thank you.
I really appreciate you. For anybody who is hearing Janelle's story and you would like to connect, just email me at adam@adambro.com, or you can check me out on Instagram, send me a direct message, or on YouTube. You can leave a comment on this. But we hope it encourages you. And we know that Janelle's results have been incredible, but anybody can get great results if they'll do the similar things that Janelle has done. Right?
Absolutely.
You can be
Absolutely.
healthy.
Adam, you're the real thing, Adam.
Well, I love you, Janelle.
I
Thank you
love
so
you.
much for being a part of everything we're trying to do and being my number one cheerleader. Appreciate
Woohoo!
it. But
Yeah.
we'll catch up soon, okay?
All right.
All right,
Bye.
love you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Love you.